Welcome to another episode of Wave On, and I want to share the code LUNA10 for your retail, your lip balms. We have brand new ones this week, tangerine, limeade, and we've got the hemp healer, all naturals, and hit me up. It's going to be Valentine's Day weekend. Maybe you need a gift. Send me a DM. I can help you out and make an order if if you want something special. But Luna Moon, SUPyoga.com. Go check out the website retail page. And I'm on Facebook, Instagram. And hope you enjoy the show. Welcome to the show, Wave On. I'm your host, Misty Marcum, here in Sylvan Lake, Michigan. And I'm owner of Luna Moon stand-up paddleboarding here on the lake during the on-season, I guess. But today I've got Canada, Marybeth. She is Paddle Adventurer on Instagram, and she has started a new blog and just doing a bunch of paddle adventures. And what's awesome is she's sharing the Great Lakes all the way on the other side, just outside of Toronto. And how cool is that? Yeah. So the show is awesome. It's not every time is it a paddleboarder. It's more about life experiences, motivation, health, wellness. But when I get a paddleboarder on, how cool, because there's more stories behind the scenes of paddleboarding. And every time we get on the water, there's always some stories that come out. And I am excited to have her on and just share all the things. So welcome to the show, Marybeth. Thanks for being here.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me, Missy, and for reaching out.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, because you caught my attention. Actually, I think what really caught my attention was there was a few things, but one of them was you were embracing the fact about falling in the water. And so many have such trouble with that. They don't want to fall off of that board. And so you had your GoPro set up and you're like, trying things, moving around and, just falling in and it's fine. And I admire that, but I also thought, they were pretty funny videos too. But I mean, why not kick it off that way and just tell us like what was some thought behind all of that?
Yeah, the falling in day. I'm a true believer that you 100% just be yourself and who gives a shit what other people think. It's my life, my board, my rules. I'm gonna do what I want, and I like to goof around. If you're familiar with my Instagram account, Paddle Adventure, I just love to have fun. And that specific day was on Lake Huron in Sobel Beach, where our family cottage is. And it's shallow, like there's a lot of sandbars going into the water, so it was pretty easy to screw around and then jump back on the board. And I had just purchased the board, I guess, late July, and I wanted to be a little bit more and comfortable with my board. So playing around gave me the opportunity to like feel different things out, fall in, goof around. I'm sure I put on a show for people on the shore, but I don't care. They're not the ones out there having fun, and they're not the ones out there growing and trying something new and different.
Yeah, that's awesome. So is that your first board that you got over the summer?
Yeah, so I've been paddleboarding for a long time. I actually do a blog post on this about how it all began. It was really interesting for me looking back because I can't remember the first time I tried paddleboarding. I think it was when I was in Fiji years ago, but I really don't know. So anytime I had the opportunity to paddleboard on a friend's board or away on vacation traveling somewhere, I would always do that. And I'd always wanted a board, but it's pretty expensive, especially over the last, I guess, a couple of years ago. It's definitely become more affordable for a starter board, especially now that you can get them at Costco. There's lots of different options out there, which is awesome. I'm all about making things accessible and open to everybody. I mean, we could go down a whole rabbit hole about outdoor recreation and the privileges or roadblocks to anything outdoor rec related or any activities such as that. And it was what I like to say is my effort times 2 valuable. It's my gift to myself. Life's too short. I'm going to enjoy it now. I was temporarily laid off at the time, and financially, even buying a board is a big move. And I just decided to go for it. And honestly, this sounds super cheesy, but buying that paddleboard changed my life. I
Oh,
mean, it
that's
kicked off
so
paddle
cool.
adventure. I've met some amazing people. There's some great community. I have the best time. I get to explore locally. I got to socialize with people during the pandemic. It's the best social distancing activity. Um, yeah, so it really all began, I guess, end of July. And I'm the type of person who is a research queen, sometimes to a detriment. I will research the shit out of anything before I spend my time or money on it. My friends love it because they know I'm going to be the leader and I'm going to find out what the best value or item or trip is going to be. And I found the board I wanted, but anybody looking for an outdoor recreational item this summer, it was extremely hard to find. And I
Yeah.
was late to that party. And I knew I wanted a specific board, and I reached out across Canada to see who had the board that I wanted. And it was literally the last place I called. It was a place in BC, which, if you're not familiar with Canada, I'm in Ontario, around the Great Lakes. I live in Hamilton. And this place was in Naramata, BC, which is Kelowna area. And so not a day's drive at all. If you were going to drive, I don't know, maybe take you 2 days to get there or more. And this woman was the best person I'd ever talked to when looking for a board. For the most part, I knew more about the board and supping than anybody else I'd call, but she knew her shit and was the best. She shipped it to me that day, and it was almost meant to be. Last place I called, the best person I talked to. And then the rest is history. Just had the best time with the board.
That's awesome. Is it an inflatable or a hard board?
Yeah, it's an inflatable.
Yeah. Easier to
I was a
travel
bit
with.
snobby at first. Like, what anybody who's never seen an inflatable is, what is this? Like a blow up mattress or, a dinghy or like a blow up flamingo, like a kid's toy. And I just thought, oh, that's like, doesn't seem legit. But the more research I did, they're more durable. It fits better with my lifestyle and what I wanted to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
I have a sedan 4-door, and I didn't want to further invest in a roof rack and that pain in the butt, storage, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I bought an inflatable touring board.
Yeah, that's great.
And it's the best. It's so good. I travel. It's always in my trunk. And it was funny when I started back up in work. I was traveling around as a sales representative for a craft brewery, and so you have a lot of stuff as a rep for beer. You have a lot of things in your car for all the different accounts. So it was difficult because I also wanted to have my board in my car permanently. But you make room, and the inflatable gives you so many opportunities.
Yeah, that's so great. And anybody that, maybe missed the chance to get a board last summer, I mean, I would probably be on it again right now, looking and searching for it, because it might happen again where they run out of things. If anybody that didn't get one last year, or they're ready to get their second board, because I say once you get one, you start looking.
Hopefully the industry knows that another wave is likely coming, and they can better prepare. I mean, no one was prepared for COVID-19, right? So no. I think manufacturers and stuff are a bit maybe more on the ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to branch my horizons in terms of different boards. I've tried hard boards, different other inflatables. I'll be testing another board this season from a Canadian company called Level 6. So I'm really excited about that as well.
Okay, nice. So do you teach anybody or teach any classes, or what's your history?
No, I've had a lot of people just in general reach out to me. I'm a big personality online. I think half of it is me entertaining myself and having fun goofing around, and then other people recognizing, oh, this is actually kind of motivating and funny, which I guess surprised me at first, but it's just my personality. I'm an outgoing, enthusiastic person. And I've had lots of people reach out that have never been on a board and asking about it. And luckily right now, it's a lot more accessible to rent a board, to test it out if you like it. The other thing too, and this was also my thinking, is if I buy a board, I can always sell it. I don't like it. I mean, the market's there.
Yeah,
so,
totally, definitely.
But yeah, no, I don't teach. I have looked into Paddle Canada to get my flat water instructors. That's something I'm interested in.
Sure.
I like learning and growth, and I think that'd be a great way to meet new people. I don't think
Yeah.
I would ever take it up as a passion or a job, a full-time job now. But it's definitely something that I want to build my skills on, especially since paddling is 100% of my background. I guess I'm going on a bit of a tangent, but I went to school for outdoor recreation at university.
Oh,
So we learned
nice.
to whitewater kayak, flatwater kayak, whitewater canoe, flatwater canoe. And I actually have my instructors that is way long expired, but instructors in flatwater canoeing. So I've
Oh,
been paddling
how
for a
cool.
long time, just not always paddleboarding.
Yeah, so you're really into it. You've been doing it for a long time, and you've got some experience with different types of water, and that's so cool. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I love the water. I mean, I feel very lucky, and I'm sure you feel the same way, to live around lakes,
Hmm.
especially the Great Lakes. Hamilton, where I live, is on Lake Ontario. However, my family cottage is on Lake Huron.
Oh,
And
nice.
being at school, we were on Lake Superior, so I'm well versed in the Great Lakes world. The ocean is a totally different beast,
Yeah.
beautiful, powerful, but Great Lakes are pretty mind blowing. Looking across that bay
Hmm.
lake, it doesn't really feel like a lake. There can be really calm days, and then there could be crazy waves.
Yeah.
And people are always mind blown when they hear that you can surf the Great Lakes.
I know. Yeah, it's becoming a little bit more popular, but even recently, I saw some footage of up north, off of Lake Michigan, and the it was ice chunks just blowing in, and you look at that, you think, wow, is that the Antarctic? Like, is that somewhere else? And it's just Lake Michigan, and sometimes like you said, it becomes that beast, and it's just those big ice chunks, just like, wow, that's gnarly. Not many places, it's either the ocean or there's this.
Yeah, and all freshwater.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
privileged to have that. Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very
Yeah.
cool. That's so awesome.
So yeah, I love water. And I'm a big scuba diver. My vacations always are centered around scuba diving.
Scuba diving. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I have not
Yeah.
done that. Last podcast we were talking about snorkeling, and I was daydreaming about snorkeling. So I haven't done it in a long time.
Yeah. Snorkeling's great. Oh my gosh. Especially with reefs.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And seeing the fish and stuff. So
Yeah.
your blog, I'm sure it's going to fuel a lot of this, where you can, put down content. It's going to become like a channel for you to use your because you have a lot of footage, video, photo, and channel it to even just help people. Whether, I mean, I may be like filling in the blanks here. I don't know, but I'm thinking that this would be sort of like your mission a little bit, right?
Yeah. So the reason why I started a blog, main one was for personal growth.
Mhm.
I am totally new to web building, design. I'm not a writer. I've always struggled with spelling and grammar and articulating myself. So I wanted to personally grow that way and learn a new skill, especially having the time off right now. I'm temporarily laid off again. It's been a journey. So I'm reinventing myself. And it's also a place for others to learn on my experiences. When I first started, it took a lot of research to find different things. It's difficult to find different tidbits. And I've had a lot of people reach out about, my recommendations. Again, it's a blog, so it's my opinion. It's, my experiences. And so I want to put that down. And I'm a fun-loving, motivational person about, get outside, get your body moving. I say that a lot. So I'll be writing a little bit about that and some of my other outdoor adventures.
Nice.
Including the Bruce Trail, which I'm currently working
Yeah.
on.
So do tell a little bit about, maybe don't tell it all, but give us some juicy tidbits, because I was actually looking into this too. I was said, wow, I don't think I've heard of that one, and I'm placing together the Niagara and everything. But that's a huge trail.
Yeah, so the Bruce Trail is all volunteer run. It's 900 kilometers. So what is that? 500? I calculated out on my
560.
Instagram. Sorry, 500 and something miles.
Yes.
So it's not something you just go do for the weekend.
No.
And it's along the Niagara Escarpment.
And you did it
which
all?
is
We made it!
no. Yeah, no. I started in January, so we're
Okay.
not that far. I think we're almost at 100 kilometers now. We've put it on hold for the stay-at-home order lockdown in Ontario, But essentially the trail runs from Niagara Falls, Queenston, just at the border, all the way up to Tobermory, which is the Bruce Peninsula. And it falls along the escarpment shelf. And people, I think, would be familiar with Niagara Falls.
Mm-hmm.
And the Niagara Escarpment is where the Niagara River falls. Over the falls is the Niagara Escarpment.
Got it. So you can take breaks. So you can take a little bit of time. I think that was the part I was trying to picture, is how do you do that many miles with so much time? I mean, are you camping? But sounds like you can take a break.
Yeah. So some people have done it. You can probably do it in 30 days at quite a few clicks a day. However, a lot of the places you'd be illegally camping. I think the Bruce Trail, they don't say, okay, do it, because it's illegal camping. There's definitely camping you can do up north where there's the parks and whatnot. But there are quite a few parts of the trail that are on roads, either country roads or under highways, because the Bruce Trail isn't fully conservation land, and they're always trying to gain more land to conserve for everyone to use, as well as for wildlife conservation. So for myself, I'm doing it with my friend Bridget.
Right? Day one.
Luckily, because to have two cars, you can park at one spot and then the other spot. And then we just wear masks in the car, and I sit in her backseat, or she sits in my backseat, like a chauffeur.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only a 15-minute drive between, but we hike the trail together. We're usually doing 15 to 25K each time. So we're not camping. We are going to camp when we get up further up north, and do a few back-to-back days.
Oh, wow. How cool.
But,
yeah. So you get to see a lot of different.
So a lot of people do the Bruce Trail in their lifetime or over a couple of years, but our goal is to do it within the year.
Oh, wow.
And so far, before the lockdown, we were doing either once a week or twice a week, depending on either of our lives.
Perfect. That's cool.
Yeah.
I saw a little bit of video. I noticed that, it looked like it went over, you did an urban road. It went over a highway or streets or something. Yeah, so it looks like it kind of weaves through a bunch of different scenery.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I mean, you think Ontario's flat, but the escarpment can be pretty hefty going up and down it. And you see everything from wetlands to rock face to deep forest to under highways or beside railroad tracks.
Nice sprinkle
today.
I
take my GoPro with me each time we hike. And so I've started a story highlight on my Instagram.
Nice. Awesome. That's
really
cool.
And a lot of people had some questions too, so I've been answering those on Instagram.
Yeah. Well, was there a question that stuck out?
Someone asked, who's Bruce and why is this trail named after him? Which I was like, that's such a good question.
Yeah, just bring it down to the basics.
Got the trail reference. Yeah, I know. I'm like, I just got the trail reference guide because we had old edition. I think we had edition 24. So there's been a few times where we've hiked 15, thought we were going to hike 15 kilometers, but it ended up being 22 kilometers, which is a chunk of a difference. I think, what would that be? 3 or 4 miles difference.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have the new editions, but right in the book, it says, who is Bruce? So Bruce is named after the Bruce Peninsula, which I knew, but I didn't know that. I don't know his full name, but he was the 8th Earl of the province of Canada. So before Canada was a country, back in the mid to late 1800s. And the Bruce Trail didn't officially open until 1967, which was the centennial year of Canada.
Okay, gotcha. Nice. A little historic piece in there.
Yeah, I know, but I don't quote me, but their mission is beautiful. It's something along the lines of preserving a ribbon of nature for everyone to enjoy forever.
Wow.
I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I like that too. That's great. Very cool.
Yeah, it's been really special hiking with my friend Bridget. I've always been friends with her, but we're becoming really close because who else are you just hiking through the woods with for 5 hours?
And you're just keeping her entertained, probably.
Sorry?
You're probably just keeping her entertained.
Yeah. or other way around. No, a bit of both, right? She's got some great insight into life, and it's really nice and reflective, and being outdoors.
Yeah.
It's so good for the soul.
Yeah, we have a lot in common. I mean, not just the paddleboarding, but like, you're saying even about researching. And, I always say that I will research the heck out of something before I step one foot into it. But anyway, yeah, a lot in common. But tell me a little bit of a funny story about these outfits or the hats. That was the second thing that kind of struck my attention. I said, well, what's with the hats and where does she get them from? Why does she have so many? Because they're not just trucker hats.
Like what catches their eye, because everyone's so different, right? Everyone's like, oh, this caught my eye. I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's like, it's great to get feedback.
No, it's awesome.
The hat thing. So new day, different hat, and DDH. The first time I went out, I wore a baseball cap because it was the summer. And, when you're on the water, I worked on the water in Australia. So I know, like, you need to cover up, you need, sunscreen, the hat, all that.
Yeah.
So I wore a hat, and then the next time I wore a different hat. And I think it was either the third or fourth time I realized, wow, I've worn a different hat, and I actually have a lot of freaking hats. Why not make this my goal of every time I go out, it's a different hat. So new day, different hat. And it became a thing. The only time I don't post as a new day, different hat is if it's a sunset or I'm doing yoga.
Okay.
If you've ever done yoga on a board, like a ball cap gets in the way.
Mm-hmm.
And then the sunset is not really needed. Although you could argue that some of my fancier hats don't really serve a purpose other than that they maybe entertain some people. So yeah, I started to go through all the different hats every new time I went out. I've got the typical baseball hats. I guess I've been collecting them forever, from sports, hockey teams, to beer. I've been in the beer industry for almost 7 years now. So you collect a lot of ball caps over the year. And then living in Canada, I've got a lot of toques. I do it with quotations because it's such a Canadian thing to say. And I'm a huge lover of theme parties and dressing up in costumes. So I have a boatload of costumes. Like I think I'm at 4 bins for 4 tickle trunks of costumes. You name it, I probably have it.
Oh my gosh.
So I just thought, hey, why not have fun, wear a different hat? It's a kind of a cool, different goal. So I'm on track. I forget what hat I'm on. I would have to look it up. I think I'm almost 40 of my own hats still.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll be okay into the spring, but this summer I definitely need to do a call out for hats. So if you have any listeners that want to see me in a crazy hat, or it can just be your brand or whatever, I'm going to need hats because I'll be going out a lot. And I'll post about it on my blog, and I'll tag them on Instagram because I also have a highlight reel.
Oh, that's so
but
cool.
There's definitely some of my favorites. My huge foam cowboy hat is pretty recognizable. A lot of people love that. That was actually from Vegas. That crazy, if you've been to Vegas, that crazy store.
Yeah.
Has a lot of wild souvenirs.
So it's like a big 10-gallon hat. Cowboy.
There's actually a music video where Steve Aoki, the DJ, goes into the store and buys that exact hat.
That's so funny.
So I've just had it like forever. Like, wow, this is a great use.
You wear it the whole entire time, or does it go on the board and then you put it on and then you take it back off?
Oh no, I wear it the whole time. I'm dedicated, and I usually do little gigs. And anybody watching must think I'm a bit nuts, especially when I wore my full pirate getup. I had the best time.
I did see that one. That looked like a really nice costume, actually.
Yeah, we at our family cottage. We host a family reunion and friends party every August long weekend. So that's the first weekend in August for Canada, and it's always theme based. My brother and sister-in-law come home from San Francisco, and it's based around some theme. So we've done pirates, we've done rock and roll, we've done Canadian theme, where my partner and I dress up as Cirque du Soleil performers and put on a performance. We've done Western.
There you go. Do
and
that one for a paddle.
We do games and food. Everything's themed. It's pretty hardcore and it's pretty epic. So that was something that I really missed this year. Hopefully,
I'm sure. Yes, yeah.
In better shape this year, but
yeah, we'll see. Right? Who knows?
Something to look forward to, even if it isn't this year. Yeah, 2022.
When do you think is the next time you'll go out to paddle? I'm sure you'll get out much sooner than I will.
Maybe. I don't have a dry suit. It's on the list, just like many things in life, add it to the list of either things to do or things to purchase.
Yep.
It's definitely something I would love to have. I actually did a blog post on cold weather paddling. I have a lot of experience just from backcountry camping, and going in cold water, either going in through the ice or going in cold water for a swim. So I'm comfortable being prepared to fall in. I know what that feeling's like. I'm not stupid about it. I'm smart. There's a lot of things you should do, and everyone's comfort level is different. And I'm not going to go out alone. But right now, any of the sheltered spots where it wouldn't be wavy are too protected. So it's ice now. So I can't go out. I know some people that are still going out, but on Lake Ontario, but you have to go through the surf. So that's not happening for me. Maybe in the spring when it becomes a little bit more calm, I'll do a video of me just falling in fully closed. I say that now, but that might mean that I have to do
it. Ontario doesn't freeze all the way, does it?
No.
It flows too much.
Yeah, or waves. It will freeze some of the way. We've been lucky that the beginning of January was pretty mild.
Yeah.
So I was able to go out a couple times in January, but yeah, the winds in the winter are pretty wicked. So it's usually surf season, which is even more hardcore.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the freaking surfers putting on their wetsuits and going out, and you can see them dripping with icicles afterwards. It's pretty rad.
Yeah, totally.
Hardcore. I love it.
Yeah, it's so cool.
But yeah, I don't have a wetsuit either. So
yeah, I have the wetsuit, not the dry suit. That's the part, is that usually when you want to try to do all these experiences, there's still gear that you need to acquire, and I have quite a bit of gear, but there's still things that are missing.
There's always something, right? It's like before we were talking about when you own a house, there's always a laundry list of projects to do. But yeah, just like any activity, you could spend a lot of money, but
yeah,
you can also do things, and I talk about that in my cold weather blog, that you can still participate in a lot of things, even with, the right clothing and the best practices, but maybe it's cheaper. You don't have to be spending hundreds of dollars on long underwear. There's some pretty other good retailers out there that are a lot cheaper, but just as effective.
Do you have a lot of little like mom and pop local outdoorsy shops by you? Or is it more?
There's a few. Nothing's open right now though. We're on lockdown. So it's curbside pickup only. So you'd have to order in advance. So that makes it a bit more difficult with clothing.
Yeah.
But I'm lucky that I already have a lot of things that since university from a lot of winter camping and just outdoor adventuring. So I've a bit more insight into the outdoors in the cold, especially in Thunder Bay, where it would reach -40, which is also, we talked about this, -40 Celsius is the same as -40 Fahrenheit. So that's pretty cold. It's not that cold here, but
where's Thunder Bay located?
You need to be prepared.
Where's Thunder Bay located?
Thunder Bay is still in Ontario, which is mind-blowing. It takes 16 hours to drive there from Southern Ontario. Ontario's pretty big. Yeah. It's on the top point of Lake Superior.
Ah, okay.
So if you're going to drive, I played rugby, so we'd drive down to the U.S. because those were the closer towns.
Yeah.
So it would be like Duluth, or like the Twin Cities. So those would be, not close. They're still an 8-hour drive from Thunder Bay, but that's the closest border area there.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing how all that's like located as you circle around, It's so cool.
Yeah.
The Great Lakes, like how it connects everything, and it's pretty amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing. It's really cool to like see a map, and then especially of the Great Lakes, and it starts at Lake Superior and it like flows into the other Great Lakes, eventually making its way out to the St. Lawrence riverway out into the ocean.
Out into the ocean. Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, I posted a story not so long ago, the National Geographic.
Oh, yes.
I think it was the December article
Yeah.
on the Great Lakes, and just wish I had it here, and then I could show it up.
I wish you had it.
It was a great story about, had lots of graphics,
Yeah.
as National Geographic does, as well as how it's endangered, and foreign species, non-native species taking over, or the algae, the warming up, that whole thing. It's really sad. So yeah, it's really important, obviously, protect it.
Right.
And that's the other thing too. I'm sure you see this too when you're out paddling. Anytime I see garbage
oh yeah, pick it up.
Yeah, pick it up. Yeah.
Yeah, usually in the spring. My one buddy that would be brave enough to come with me when it gets, the water starts to break and unthaw, she would come with me because she had a wetsuit, and then I would dare to jump to get in, and I would get in because I have a thicker one, but she would still do it. But she had a thinner wetsuit, and she would be screaming, ah! But we would pick up garbage. I think we had like an egg carton and like fishing line and just all kinds of different things that you find as things unthaw and, the snow melts and everything. And you just find all kinds of crazy stuff. But, and at that point, the water, because they, on this, it's just an inland lake, they drain the lake a little bit just for the seawall to protect for the frozen ice and everything. So the water is still a little low. So you'll see more things like closer to the beach, where it's still a little shallow versus like July when the water level goes up.
For sure.
Yeah.
Which is probably good because then it's more sobering, right? It's in your face.
Yes, exactly.
Versus, we live in a world now where a truck takes away our garbage and you don't see it. Well, it still exists in the world.
It still exists, and it can still fly out of a truck and go somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, I think too, that's the other thing about snow melting, right? Even just on the streets, think about it, but the snow melts and you see a lot of cigarette butts and other garbages, coffee cups, coffee lids. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't just disappear. And when it does disappear, it goes to a landfill, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Unless you can get to recycle or whatever, but
Yeah.
It's a discipline. So what really motivates you? What really gets you, are you just kind of like self-motivated?
I think self-motivated. I don't know. Is that an easy way out to say that? I
say that all the time about myself. So
I think if anybody not that I'm like really believer in new souls and old souls, but if you were, I've always felt like I'm a new soul, for the sheer reason that I'm not the type of person to, I'm gonna, I want to build my life to be this, and I need to do this XYZ to get there. I'm a big believer in just living life to the fullest and more going with the flow, which has worked out well for me. I've been very privileged in my life and very lucky. I think a lot of the time my motivation comes from, I'm going to feel better. What I like to say is get that shit done. I've done a lot of challenges. I think not because I personally need them, but I get a lot out of them that I get growth. So maybe I do need them. But because someone asked me, I think, oh shit, now I got to do it. I got to rise to the occasion and do this challenge because someone asked me. I don't think I'm the type of person who has a hard time saying no. I just feel like, well, what else am I doing? I can totally do this. And if you ask my friends, they typically say, and actually Bridget pointed this out on one of her hikes, that if you want to complete a goal, get Marybeth to do it with you, because I'm going to go and crush that goal out. If I see something that I want, then I'm going to go do it. So I recently completed 75 hard, which has its pros and cons, but I did a blog on it. But it's because literally I did it because my friend asked me to do it. And I thought, I have the time, I could learn something, it'll give me a lot of grit and resilience. I'm a pretty resilient person to begin with. maybe to my detriment sometimes. I can be very stubborn. And I thought, well, if she completes it was my friend Alexa, if she completes it, I'll be kind of pissed at myself that, well, I could have done it too, right? I'll look back and regret that. So I guess my motivation is to live without regrets. I just came to that conclusion right now.
Perfect.
Yeah.
75 hard. What is that?
So it's a challenge by Andrew Frisella, who's an interesting character. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of him personally, but he built this cool challenge. It's for 75 days, and every day for 75 days, you're doing the following. You're sticking to a diet of some sort, whatever you choose. So it can be as strict or as not. Maybe, you're always eating chocolate and you're like, okay, I can give up chocolate in my life, or I could give up pizza. So it doesn't have to be super strict. I chose to do no sugar and lower carbs. And then you are taking a progress photo every day. You are reading at least 10 pages of nonfiction every day. You're drinking a gallon of water, and you're doing 2 times 45-minute workouts a day. One has to be outside. And when I say workout, I mean, no one I don't think could do. I'm going to go running for 45 minutes, and then I'm going to lift heavy weights for 45 minutes every day for 75 hard. No, workout, it can be, I did a lot of yin yoga, which I struggle with, the sitting still and really focusing and looking inner, looking more inwards. Or it can be walks. I was doing a running program, so I already did running, and then I dabbled in a bit more strength at the end. But yeah, there was definitely days that I had to dig deep. I did it October 1st to December 14th. Diet thing that wasn't too big of an issue for me. Drinking water, I drink a lot a day to begin with. The reading thing was awesome to do. I read some great books. I read The Rising Strong Brené Brown, Simon Sinek, Eaters Eat Last, The Inconvenient Indian by Thomas King, and one that I got halfway through, but I'm finishing now in my new challenge, is Arlene Dickinson, Persuasion. So that was really cool because I've never been a big reader. So it forced me to do that. Nice. And it was a struggle. I was working 9 to 5-ish. So I would get up 5:30, read, go for my morning walk, and then have my work day. And then I would finish the day with an added workout, depending on what it was. But I would always do my outdoor workout early.
Cool. Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
nice.
It was cool. It was cool to really test my limits. There was days where all I wanted to do was zen out and sit on the couch and watch Netflix and be cozy when it's pouring freezing rain out. But I had to go outside, and I wasn't going to quit. There was days where I'd walk and literally I would cry the whole time because I was having a really down day, which everyone does. And there was days where I thought, I'd feel better afterwards, and I didn't. But, the next day everything restarts again. But it was great. It was definitely great. I didn't go into it from the couch, couch to, they say couch to marathon. I was physically active already, and I had done yoga challenges when I was doing my running plan. So I knew what it would be like to do 2 workouts in a day. And I was realistic about it. I think the one thing that I would go back and do is really focus more on tracking my food and upping how much I ate. Unfortunately, for 3 months, I lost my period. So I've been working really hard on focusing on my diet to eat equal amount of as much as I put out because I'm so physically active. I wasn't hungry. I've always been an intuitive eater. I definitely wasn't starving myself. I was eating a lot, but clearly not enough for the volume of output that I was having. Yeah. So I've really focused on that this time around because now I'm doing the second phase, or I guess it's phase 1, but it comes after 75 hard. And again, because my friend asked me to do it.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, and I thought, well, why else? What am I not doing? It'd be really good to get into a routine of reading and, getting outside. And there are some added elements that has really helped me move my life forward. And those added elements are what is called a critical task list. So it's a power list. So you list in the morning or the night before, you list 3 things that you're good to do the next day. So there's times where I'm like, oh shit, why did I write this down? Now I have to do it. but it really makes you focus because there's so many distractions in today's world.
Yes.
So writing down 3 things that you're going to commit to today that you're going to get done. And that's been amazing. The other things are doing a meditation or visualization, which has been great. That's only 10 minutes, a bit more eye-opening that, it's not something I would normally partake in, but it's been really moving. And the worst part of it all is doing 5 minutes in a cold shower a day, which is pretty hardcore considering it's really cold outside.
Yes.
And it wasn't till day 4, we're on day 9 now, it wasn't until day 4 that the cold showers got easier.
Really? Ooh.
So for me, it's okay. Doing the shower, I think about it. I usually do it after my indoor workout where I'm hot and it's a little bit easier to get done versus in the morning when I'm a bit chilled.
Okay.
And I would think about it more than once that day. So it's a good obstacle, and got to dig deep type of grit to get that over with.
Yeah, I would agree. That's I could understand though, especially after you're already warm, then, to do the cold shower after that. Because I don't think I'd want to wake up and have the cold shower like right out of bed.
Yeah. There's great benefits of doing a cold plunge. And I'm all for that, Wim Hof technique. Definitely look that up if you don't know what that is. It's good for your muscles. I always feel alive afterwards.
Yeah.
5 minutes is a bit extreme. But now I've learned to, because my general showers are 4 to 5 minutes. So now I've learned during that 5 minutes, I do my whole shower and then I'm out. Yesterday was the first day I did that, where I didn't have to warm up afterwards.
Yeah.
But there are days where, okay, I'm having a hot bath afterwards. Otherwise, I'm never warming up.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that would be tough. That would definitely be tough, especially, when you are like in that, time of the month.
Totally, yeah. So I guess I'm a driven person. But I wouldn't say I'm such a maniac where I guess it becomes more of a stubborn thing that like I'm going to do this. Like right now, I'm really something happened with my shin. I'm not really sure what.
Oh.
And so I need to get looked at. Maybe it's extreme shin splints, but I do need to rest that. So my outdoor workouts might have to be taking weights outside and just doing some arm workouts. So I get out my outdoor workout versus walking.
Yeah.
So I'm stubborn enough that I didn't just do 8 days of 5 minutes in the cold shower to give up now. Right. And this one's only 30 days. I can do 30 days.
Oh,
so.
well, yeah. You're like, this one's piece
your
of
listeners
cake.
are going to think I'm some hardcore nut job. I just like to have challenges, and I'm temporarily laid off, so
Well, I was going to comment on that like it actually provides a little bit of a routine for you, because I would say if anything, especially in the very beginning of the lockdown, I was like, what am I doing? I'm just like here. What should I do? And so that helps, like to have that routine, because I kind of went, it wasn't really a challenge, but I went into, okay, these are things that I need to do, like, and this will help with personal growth, by reading these books. Like I got a couple new books, the beginning of the year. And one is a little bit more on the physical activity side, but it's, just so that I can release muscles, and, if there's a pain or a headache. So it's actually it's called the muscle ball rolling. So there's a whole book. Mm-hmm. It's pretty thick actually, that walks through like how to use those little like muscle tension, release tension balls. And we were doing like 10,000 steps a day because, I have a high energy dog. She's a husky. So it's like, all right, this dog has to get out. You don't have a choice to get outside. And we were getting 10,000 steps a day. It's a little bit harder now because it's like 5 degrees and there's a ton of snow to trek through, but we were doing some cross-country skiing when we can get out.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's a little bit.
I think routine's so important, especially during the pandemic.
Right.
Even if you're someone who struggles with, mental health issues, mm-hmm. giving yourself, it's everyone's different, right? I don't want to say like, are you wasting your life? Like everyone's so different, right?
It's true.
Just because I'm doing a million things, do you, right? Exactly. Focus on you. And if it's today is a day that getting out of bed is the only thing you accomplish, reward yourself for that. Celebrate the small wins. It's not always about the big moments. there's a graph. I'm not sure who the artist is, but it's almost like an iceberg theory, right? There's more underneath, and it's the photo. The illustration is people on a first, second, and third podium, and it has a crowd around it. It's like what everyone else can see, and then below the surface, it's stress, hard work, pain, and it's just a laundry list of things. People always see the big wins, right? I'm sure people saw me. Oh, I did 75 art, awesome, or I do this blog, awesome, but they don't see the hard work and everything else and mental struggle and pain or whatever it is that goes into it, right? So reward yourself along the way for the small little things in life. If you can laugh for the day and smile, awesome, then that's a freaking huge win.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it. Not everybody is equally the same. We're not robots, and
exactly. And that's the thing. It's like, who cares again what other people think? It's not their life. It's your life. You need to have fun and own it, right? Yeah. Do you, be you.
Yeah, no, it's a great message. I think that's really, it's really inspiring, for others to hear. And, it's what it's all about, is just uplifting each other and having each other's back and some sort of support,
Totally. We're all in this together. And, routines, like you said, routines definitely helped me. Before I started this phase 1 of 75 hard, I wasn't wasting away the day, but I definitely wasn't crushing out as much as I am now. So it's holding myself accountable and showing up for myself every day. And I think that's important too, right? If you're tired and what makes you feel good, if it's yoga, if it's going for a run, remember those times when you're finished and how it makes you feel. Yes, you did that and you feel so much better. So make the time for yourself, because life can get carried away either with working and stress in the pandemic. It's crazy. Yeah. So I think if anything with the pandemic, it's really made me at least think that you need to stop in and take moments for yourself. Life's too short to be on a crazy fast train without seeing what the scenery is beside you.
Yeah. No, that's an awesome analogy. I like it.
Yeah. I just made that up.
I love it. On the fly.
Yeah, oh nice. I like making analogies. I think maybe because I'm someone who struggles with words, so anything that can be relatable too.
Yeah, exactly. That's so cool. Well, I mean, I really appreciate you coming on. I mean, I hope one day we could get to paddle or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
don't think we live that far away. Not a couple hours, but maybe 6 hours. I mean, if someone's listening to this in a different country, that seems, what would be that like in Europe? That'd be a couple countries over.
I know, right? But yeah, and really
in the land of Canada and most of US, that's not that far.
It's not that far. It's really, what's separating us is just some water, a bridge, or a tunnel, I guess. It's really not that bad. It's just a border.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool. Is there anything else you would want to share, or we're gonna put your Instagram and your blog. We'll have that in the show notes, the description, so people can follow you and check out your paddle insight. And it's awesome to be able to connect and network during a crazy pandemic.
I know, totally. Like, any listeners, don't hesitate to reach out. I hope, you got some value out of this and it came across that I'm a friendly person. I love meeting new people. I'm a pretty big people person. I think too, it's just like in general, people, maybe one takeaway is what I like to say is, get outside, enjoy the fresh air, enjoy nature. Get your body moving and don't worry about what other people think. Mm-hmm. It's never going to be perfect. Just get out there and do it.
No, it's a great message. That's awesome. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, thanks for being on and taking the time to share your stories and your fun insight on your posts and your paddle adventures. You are the paddle adventurer in Canada. Oh,
Yeah,
Canada.
thank you so, Misty. This was so much fun. I really appreciate it. I'm very grateful.
Oh, well, thank you. I am too as well. Very grateful. And I will be talking to you soon.
All right, sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you. How fun was that? Paddle Adventurer. She's on Instagram. Go check out her blog, paddleadventurer.com. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in. I hope you're really enjoying the show. If you're feeling inspired, please give a comment or a rating and a review. I'd really appreciate it. It helps the podcast. We've got a lot more guests coming down the line, and I want to keep it with good content. So give me your feedback, even if it was an email or a text, whatever. I'm in Sylvan Lake, and I just interviewed Paddle Adventure in Canada. How fun. I can't wait to paddle with her one day. Go check out her Instagram. She's got some really funny posts, and she's just got an overall great personality. Thanks again, guys.